President Trump promised to make America safe again with his southern border wall, and now we have brand new proof just how much it's needed.
Yeah, U.S. Special Forces spent 3 weeks in San Diego testing all these prototypes you've seen video of. They found that the new height requirements should stop illegal immigrants from crossing the border, and that is not all.
Here now to discuss the findings is President of the National Border Patrol Council, Brandon Judd. Brandon, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Now, tests were done to 8 different wall prototypes using jackhammers and other climbing devices. So tell us how those tests went and which wall prototype turned out to be the best.
Well, what we're looking at is we're looking at putting a wall that is going to make obsolete the last walls that were built, the last barriers that were built. If you look at the barriers that we built, we didn't test any of those, and they turned out to be good, but they didn't turn out to be what we needed. And so right now, what President Trump did is he brought his business experience to the Oval Office, and he said, look, if we're going to build a barrier and we're going to spend the money on this barrier, we need to test it. And he had the U.S. Special Forces test it, and it turned out perfect. I mean, what we're going to see is we're going to see something that is going to completely and totally stop illegal immigrants from crossing over those barriers.
Yeah, it certainly is the hope. And I do think, I mean, as we've seen, Democrats have always supported at least some kind of border fencing and security at the border and keeping illegal immigrants out of this country. Only in the last year or two have they suddenly flipped on that. But Mexico is a nation with a lot of problems right now. Let's put up some of their homicide numbers here. This is from 2017. This is a country with about a third of the population of the United States. Around 127 million people live there, and they've had almost 30,000 murders last year. That's a 27% increase from 2016. I think there's 5 states right now that there's a travel warning from the U.S. government not to go there, a warning that's equivalent to the warning of going to Syria right now. It's a very dangerous place. There's a need for security.
Well, and the crime is spilling over to this side of the border into the United States. If you look at the criminal cartels, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Drug smuggling and human smuggling into the United States generates huge amounts of revenue, and they're going to fight to keep that revenue open. They're not just going to let it go away. And so when you look at what the Democrats and the Republicans have said, the Secure Border Fence Act, they supported that. But now all of a sudden they're saying, well, we don't need a wall or fences or anything like that, and it just doesn't make any sense. In fact, what they're doing is they're playing politics with the security of the United States.
Yeah, and President Trump does say that Mexico will pay for that wall, whether directly or indirectly. We'll see if that happens. Now, there is a report out that says illegal immigrants are being relocated throughout the U.S. on commercial flights. Is that true?
That is true. And what we're looking at again is we're looking at, you had on November 8th of 2016, the momentum all went to the Republicans, and they had the opportunity to close all of the loopholes of the catch and release program. And even though President Trump signed the border security executive order on January 25th, if the Republicans do not, in fact, run with the momentum that President Trump gave them in enacting his agenda, we're going to continue to see these problems, and we're going to continue to have this magnet that draws illegal immigrants to the United States.
Brandon, really quick, explain why they're being relocated. Why are these people being flown to different parts of the country?
Well, there's various programs that under the law that allows these illegal immigrants to cross the border illegally, get taken into custody, and then be released into the United States. And again, these are the loopholes, the laws that Congress has to close. And if we don't close those loopholes, it's going to continue.
Yeah. All right, Congress, and it's the president's Homeland Security as well. So they've got some work to do. Thank you, Brandon, for coming on this morning. We appreciate it.